Welcome back to CF Sports. This is week 24 of the MLS, and we're bringing you the hot takes. We're going to go really fast. We're just going to give you the hard facts and let the clips tell the story this week. Trying that out. I think that'll work. Make sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with what goes on in the MLS every single week. We release videos on Friday covering all the games, all the stuff, as well as another show just for Atlanta United content called Hometown Highlights. Drops at the same time.
Supporting our boys.
Also, go check out the Instagram @_CF_sports, where we release 6 early clips a week. 6 clips a week early. I think that's a bargain. Onward to the results. We're going to start off Orlando versus Kansas City. A lot of these games were very short in terms of what we have to talk about. The only thing we really have to talk about is a goal from Akindele in the 21st minute. Pretty decent.
Bring the final score to 1-0, you know.
1-0,
Only
that's
thing
it.
that happened the entire game, you know.
What about the next 1-0? What do we got?
Next up on our 1-0 games, we have Minnesota versus Colorado. And in the 39th minute, we have Quintero bringing one for Minnesota for the victory, you know. Only score.
Decent. Quintero, man of the match. This one's a bit of a disappointment, I'm sure, for a lot of Seattle fans. Real Salt Lake versus Seattle, and Real Salt Lake walks out with a 3-0 victory.
Dang, that's gotta hurt.
What?
That's gotta hurt.
25th minute, Johnson bangs one in. After that, 71st, Rusnak, and they weren't done there because in the 87th minute, Baird pops one in just to add insult to injury. It's like, yeah, it's the end of the game. So what?
Next up, we have LA Galaxy versus Dallas with a 2-0 with LA Galaxy pulling out the win. In the 68th minute, we have Zlatan. In the 82nd
Doing what
minute,
he
we have
does.
Zlatan with a penalty.
Doing what he does. Next, we have Portland versus Chicago. Final 3-3 draw there. 11th minute, Moriera for Portland scores one. After that, Portland again. 21st minute, Fernandez takes one for him. But in the 30th minute, Chicago pulls one back with Katai. And Chicago again comes back. Nikolic, 74th minute. Now it's tied up. 2-2, 74th. What's going to happen? Well, what's happened all game? An exchange of goals. In the 88th, Fernandez for Portland scores. You have to think you just have it at that point. 88th, not much time left. Psych! Sepong for Chicago comes through clutch in the 90th. Ties up the game.
Next up, we have the New York Red Bulls versus New England Revolution.
More draws, by the way.
1-1 draw. Not very exciting, but draw is draw. In the 18th minute, we have Rozetkowski for New York pulling one ahead.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
64 years
Rozetkowski.
In the 18th minute, we have Rozetkowski pulling one for New York. However, in the 65th minute, New England pulls it back for that 1-1 draw with Bow. Something like that.
Bow. Who knows?
Bow.
I don't know. Tied the game. Good on him. Next, we have Montreal and Dallas, and again, another draw. And as far as I see it, the next one is also a draw, so there's a lot of draws. Montreal versus Dallas, finals 3-3 in that one. In the 8th minute, Lapalainen, I finally learned how to pronounce it, scores for Montreal. He always scores in the first 10 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good thing that you
He's
actually
tight.
learned how to pronounce his name.
But he doesn't just score in the first 10 minutes, because in the 45th, he also scored again.
Again.
And then in the 56th, Montreal with Aquanquo coming in clutch. It's those two. They're always scoring. They're always banging them in. But as we just said a minute ago, the final score was not 3-0. It was 3-3. So that defense, hate to see what their week looks like after this game. In the 59th minute, Andrejsik for Dallas brings one back, but you still have to think all hope is lost. 3-1. That's a lot of that's a big margin. And you're, only 30 minutes left in the game, just about. But 85th minute, penalty taken by Ziegler. He scores it. Now it's 2-3, and you have to think, maybe.
Can they do it?
Can they do it? It is the 85th. Not much time left. But they didn't care at all. Hollingshead came in the 90th minute. Clutch moments. Scored the goal. And tied it up. 3-3. Epic stuff.
Save themselves from that loss.
A 3-3 draw with a 90th minute, tire is Much more epic to watch than our 1-1.
Coming up next, we have Columbus versus Toronto with a 2-2 draw. And boy, am I sick of draws at this point. Jesus Christ, can someone actually win a game?
There's more draws.
In the 42nd minute, we have Osario bringing one for Toronto, making it 1-0. In the 48th minute, we have Santos for Columbus, bringing one back. In the 82nd minute, we have Akam for Columbus, letting them pull ahead 2-1. Maybe they can win this. Maybe they can pull it out. Nope. In the 90th minute, Altidore for Toronto to bring it back in the 90th minute again.
Another 90th minute. That's the third one so far.
These players know how to come in clutch when it
Who do you expect to come in clutch besides Altidore? Next, we have Cincinnati and New York, and finally the draw streak is over because this one ended 4-1 for New York City because Cincinnati is trash and will remain trash for the remainder of this season and probably next season if I had to predict.
Can confirm.
30th minute, Cruz scores for Cincinnati. Things look very bright. They scored on New York. Oh my goodness. They thought it was impossible. Well, that's all they did. And 2 minutes later, Castellanos made that goal basically not worth anything by scoring on him. And then in the 45th minute, we had Heber. He bangs one. And again, Castellanos in the 71st. And then again, Heber in the 89th. The same two guys go back and forth scoring. They just... I mean, what do you expect?
Got to share the glory, you know?
Didn't shock me at all.
But sadly, we're back to it. Another draw game with Minnesota versus Orlando in a sad 1-1 draw. In the 78th minute for Nandi for Orlando, we have a penalty. And then the 90th minute for Minnesota, we have
another 90th minute. Let me just point that out. The fourth one this week.
The fourth one, yeah, you're right. We have Don Lottie bringing one back for Minnesota to tie the game, to bring that draw home so they don't lose.
Save that 1 point. Everybody wanted to save the 1 point, but nobody wanted to come in clutch to get the 3. Next, we have Chicago and Philadelphia, and the East leaders go down 2-0. Interesting to see what that does to the league table.
Good for our boys.
I don't know what's going to happen to the league table. Anyway, 38th minute, Nikolic scores for Chicago. 45th minute, penalty given, red card given, and Nikolic bangs it home, 2-0. Gaitan, deserved. I think that's all we can say about it.
Then we have Sporting Kansas City versus San Jose with a 2-1. Not a draw game. In the 25th minute, we have Wondolowski for San Jose, bringing back their only goal for the entirety of the game. Sucks to suck. In the 5th...
I love how you spelled Wondolowski like one. I was telling him these names. Hold on. I was telling him these names, and he was like, I'm just gonna spell it how it sounds. Wanda Wondolowski, how it sounds. He spelled Juan Jundel. Alski. That's how he spelled it. Wondolowski.
The 50th minute, Fahlhaber brings one for Kansas City to start their counterattack.
And you think at this point, oh no, another draw!
But then you'd be wrong. In the 76th minute, we have Smith. That's a great American name I can pronounce. Bringing the second one for Kansas City, securing that win.
That's what I'm talking about. That guy who comes in clutch for the 3 points, not the guy who saves the 1. Be that guy. Smith was that guy.
Good on you, Smith.
Good on you. But back on to draws. Houston and Colorado. 7 minutes in, Rubio scores for Colorado. And you think, they're probably going to run away with this because Houston is trash. And then Rubio scores again in the 38th minute. And so you definitely think,
Houston's going
to get clapped here. Then in the 74th minute, Minatos, something along those lines, I don't really know how to pronounce it, scores for Houston. And you think, 2-1, 74th, 75th minute
But then 5 minutes later,
he does it again. Who is this guy out of nowhere? Never seen his name before, but he comes in clutch, gets the brace.
If only if he could do
the point.
5 minutes after that and win the game.
That would have been phenomenal.
Next up, we have Real Salt Lake versus LAFC. In the 48th minute, we have Zimmerman with a red card for LAFC. In the 62nd minute, we have Herrera with a red card for Real Salt Lake. A bunch of red cards in this game.
So 10v10 game. Wow. Just like your average Sunday league when nobody shows up.
In the 64th minute, we have Vela with a penalty for LAFC. Ooh. In the 82nd minute, we have Diamande for LAFC as well.
Next, we have Vancouver and DC. Quick win here. 1-0 to Vancouver. 18th minute, Reyna, Vancouver scores. It's on the screen.
Kind of a meh game. And then we have LA Galaxy versus the Seattle Sounders for another draw, 2-2. Yep. So a little bit more exciting than 1-1. And then the 42nd minute, we have Rudiaz for Seattle to take the lead. In the 45th minute, we have Zlatan for LA. In the 65th minute, we have Zlatan again for a penalty.
Bit light, huh?
And then the 82nd minute, we have Kajelvik with an own goal for Seattle. That was kind of a disappointing watch. He just barely gets it off the tip of his head, past his goalie, and it just kind of went right in the box. He was running to try to chase it down, but not fast enough, man. Sorry.
So, yeah, I mean, that's it for this week in the MLS. We kind of blasted through that.
Not 30 minutes long for Gavin.
I think it looks like we're about 20, which should be tight.
Knock out a good 6 minutes of that, easy.
Oh, yeah, we just... Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll be back next Friday with more episodes. Again, like I said at the beginning, make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Like the video if you enjoyed. Comment, what do you think about some of this stuff, man? It's crazy red card, VAR stuff, man. Let us know what you think about it. And, yeah, go check out the Instagram as well, because this is stuff that I'm required to say. I don't feel like saying it, but I have to. But, yeah, we'll see you next week, and make sure to check out Hometown Highlights if you're a Atlanta fan. We're about to record that right now.
That's if Gavin actually edits it, though.
I got it this week. I explained on the Instagram story, okay? God. All right, bye.